Well, anyway, I don't know. When you talk with the Muslims, what do you? Because I know I was listening. Oh, that's right. Yeah, you know James White. You ever heard of him?
Yeah.
Yeah, because I was listening to him talking. He was a bit upset because these guys he knows. I don't know if you heard of what's his name?
David Wood. Oh yeah, this thing. Yeah, I know about that argument.
He mocked Ramadan with sketches.
Yeah.
If you got a sense of humour, it was funny, but I would have thought better from him because he's so knowledgeable.
Yeah.
There was no need to. It was. I watched a few of them, but it was a bit too.
Well, no, but you haven't seen the recent one where they're acting out things from the hadith and the.
Yeah, I watched some of them.
Oh, you've seen that? Yeah. And James White, he's had a long. Actually, it was a back and forth because what happened? They did it. Then James White responded, and then they responded to his response, and they were actually a bit derogatory of him, and so he responded back.
Well, yeah, James White's attacked DCCI before with the group I'm in. So
yeah.
he does tend to do too much criticising other Christians.
Right.
James White, I think, is. And then what happens is the Muslims have an absolute field day with it, and they're all posting it on their own site. So I don't really agree with what he does in that respect.
Yeah.
He does do some debates well, but he's too ready to go out from other Christians, I think. Personally, I'm happy with these satirical stuff. I haven't actually watched any of these particular David Wood videos.
I watched a few on YouTube,
but generally, I'd say
I was surprised he was doing something like that.
Yeah.
Because when you look at his testimony, how he got saved,
Well, I don't know. But if you watch Jesus and Muhammad, they are like a bit comedy as well when they used to do it.
Which prophet in the Old Testament he was laughing at people? The prophet in the Old Testament.
Elijah.
Go up baldy, yeah.
I've got so many things going on.
Elijah and the prophets of Baal.
Yeah.
That
If it works, that's fine.
Yeah.
But it's not my cup of tea, but it might work.
But because I remember, because what I was going to say is that James White, he was saying that there's what he's talking about, two different ways that evangelism sort of to Muslims is happening, and he says he prefers the one where it's according to how we act and we just bring what's in the Bible out, and then you've got the David Wood style where you more attack what they
which is more what DCCI do as well.
Right.
I think we need both. I think sometimes what happens in mission is, this has gone on for centuries because there's always been Christians who are seeking to evangelise, working in very different contexts. But Christian missionaries who are working at Speaker's Corner, compared to someone going to Nepal, for example, compared to someone working in Romania, they all need to use different methods, and it depends on the. So what we need to be careful of is we're not criticising the way another Christian is doing mission without really understanding the context they're working in. Because I think if someone comes to Speaker's Corner here, they know a lot of what the Muslims are doing is attacking Christianity. Now, if we don't throw the arguments back at Islam, what it appears to people outside is that Christianity's got all the problems and all the questions that need to be answered, and Islam is perfectly clear, concise, doesn't have any issues that need to be addressed. Because it means we're always on the defence. And if you're always on the defence, then what happens is you either lose or you draw, but you never win in the debate. Because none of us know everything. So if some Muslim guy comes up to me and starts challenging me on such and such chapter, something, verse, something, I'm thinking, what is that? I haven't read that for years, can't remember it, what does it say? And within 5 minutes on video, he's managed to make me look an idiot because I'm there trying to read it, and he knows about it and what it says, but he's misrepresenting it, but I don't know it well enough to know how he's misrepresenting it and explain that concisely. So he would say, right, so if I can't throw something back about the Quran, then I appear to, when you watch that, here's another Christian who can't explain Christianity.
Yeah.
But
because with your, because you say you're with DCCI, I don't know, do you have, because I've been doing a bit of research myself, I don't know if what kind of things you have, for going against the Muslims. Do you have is it like a resource that you use, or is it just?
Well, we do a lot of our own research.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I do research, but lots of the research is done by the speakers that you see up on the stands. So yeah, if you want to, like I said, go to the DCCI Ministries YouTube channel. There's lots of videos there with us giving talks. Not me, because I don't do the talks. And debating with people, that kind of stuff. So that's where all the output is. Yeah.
Yeah, I know, because I was just saying, because I was doing some research on one.
Yeah.
Which seemed, so I tested it out on a Muslim. It seemed like it was actually quite effective.
Yeah.
I don't know if you know about the stoning for adultery.
Yeah.
And the fact that in the Quran it says that the punishment is just 100 lashes.
Yeah.
But then in the hadith it actually tells you that Muhammad got a revelation that, and the revelation was that the revelation was that the punishment for if they're not married, then it's 100 lashes and exile, and if they're married, then they both get stoned. But if one's married and the one isn't married, the one who's married gets stoned. I just wondering.
I'm just trying to.
Yeah.
Okay.
And when I brought it out with him, I could see he was a little bit surprised, because when I actually read the hadith out, it looks as if he hadn't done the research on it. So you know what you're saying about sometimes when you catch them by surprise.
Yeah.
It seemed to happen with him as well. Yeah. And what it seemed to mean is that this was a revelation that Muhammad actually received as how he normally receives. You know, when he goes all funny, etc. And
you've always got to watch your back here. They can't have a normal. You can't have a normal debate like us guys having a conversation. They're going to start pushing it any moment.
Yeah, it's just a couple of weeks back when I got involved in that fight, completely by accident. I was just standing there talking to two people, and someone walked into me from behind. Turned around, and I'm in the middle of a battle.
My daughter's over there with my future son-in-law.
People being punched in the face, and
For me personally, when you talk to Muslim, I normally take them to the side, one-on-one.
Yeah.
Because last week there's this guy who's been coming down here regularly, brought up he's Pakistani Muslim, but he left Islam when he was 16, 17, so he says he's an atheist. And I've been building up a friendship with him over the last month. So, getting cold. So I took him to the side and I gave him my testimony. I said, don't say a word until I've finished.
Yeah.
Promise me? We're not debating, I'm telling you a story. And for 15, 20 minutes, I told him how I come to Christ. And at the end, I haven't got the most powerful testimony, but I told him how my life changed. And at the end of it, he opened up to me about some private sin that I was really battling with, very personal. I hardly know the guy. And I think that's the only best way, because as a group, they just fuck them up. It's more broad.
Yeah, it's so easy here to get caught up in discussions that aren't discussions, they're arguments, and then you can't really get anywhere. People have closed themselves off.
It's like they enjoy our... You can have a good debate like Simon and Bob. Brilliant.
Well, both people are respectful and listen to each other, and then the audience can get something out of it as well, can't they?
Dirty jokes, dirty language. It wasn't the end of the word.
You don't. There is a line though, isn't there, between someone, by definition, if you're debating with someone, they're coming from another perspective, they're not going to do things exactly like you would, but there's a line where it just crosses over into simple intimidation and aggression, isn't there?
Yeah.
That's the thing.
You'll notice there's a little hick. He's coming down from next week for 6 Sundays in a row. The guy from Manchester.
Jason. He's coming 6 Sundays in a row?
Yeah, that's what I've checked his site. He's a little guy, full of love.
I think he's great, absolutely great.
He preaches what I call the old-fashioned gospel.
Right.
When he preaches, it's quite small. Muslims get really close to him. He's preaching, instead of giving him the guy space, they come in real close.
Yeah.
He's been punched recently as well.
Standing right behind him, being provoking, threatening. So when he comes down, I normally go and stand near him. I introduce myself, but he doesn't know I'm a born-again Christian. I think he might do now, but I'll go and stand near him just in case.
Well, he made a video saying this was some weeks ago, so I haven't I have phases of keeping up with Jason, and you watch one of his videos, watch a few. But he made one after last time he came down, saying about he's going to have to bring bodyguards next time he comes. So he got repeatedly assaulted.
Army people coming down with him next time. I've contacted them.
Yeah.
So that should be interesting.
I was going to, because I don't know if you ever heard of this, because this is Sahih Muslim.
Yeah.
Because this is the one. Well, I didn't actually get to bring this one out to him, but it's when you read through it, it's actually because what it says that Abdullah B. Abbas reported that Umar B. Khattab sat on the pulpit of Allah's Messenger, may peace be upon him, and said, "Verily Allah sent Muhammad, may peace be upon him, with truth, and he sent down the book upon him, and the verse of stoning was included in what was sent down. We recited it, retained it in our memory, and understood it. Allah's Messenger, may peace be upon him, awarded the punishment of stoning to death to the married adulterer and adulteress, and after him we also awarded the punishment of stoning. I am afraid that with the lapse of time the people may forget it, and may say, we do not find the punishment of stoning in the book of Allah, and thus go astray by abandoning this duty prescribed by Allah. Stoning is a duty laid down in Allah's book for married men and women who commit adultery when proof is established, or if there is pregnancy or a confession." And when I read that to him, he was a bit surprised
Were
because
just two of you?
yeah, it was just two of us.
That's what you need.
Yeah,
Once others come in
yeah,
behind, you, unless there's a miracle, you more or less lost it.
yeah. And what he's essentially saying is that the stoning was in the Quran, but if you look in the Quran now, it's not there. So it's actually something that's missing. But what I found is that if you're ever talking to any Muslims and they're a bit, trying to say that the Quran is perfect, etc., this is actually a very good one to bring out. Because it actually says that the verse was in there. It says it in the hadith, and it's not there now, so you know it's missing. So
there's a guy who comes down here called Saragavi. Saragavi.
oh right, yeah,
he's
the Kemet guy.
Yeah.
He's like a black nationalist.
Yeah.
He had a Christian Seventh-day Adventist upbringing, but he walked
All
away
right.
from it.
Yeah.
He does make some very, very good points. He doesn't really criticise Christianity in never an aggressive way. It's always a proper debate. But when he goes to Islam, he's certainly done his research.
Yeah.
Because it's very impressive how he does it. When you look at him, he's not a Christian, but you think, how on earth has he come to that knowledge when he debates it? Very good.
Well, but I think what it is there is. The stuff I was working, that I found out, a lot of it just came from actually reading, because I'll go to some sites and they'll mention about things in some hadith, but then I'd carry on reading and you'd actually find some other things which people haven't mentioned. So he just, I'd say maybe that's what he's done as well. Is you just have to do a lot
of reading and research. And
and
you have to go over the same material a few times so it sticks, and you can use it when it's so frustrating when someone's debating with you and you know the answer, you can't think where you got it from, and so
But
it's difficult.
But actually, what I actually did is the hadith. I actually put them on my website. So I got the PDFs and copied it out, and then pasted it in on articles on the website. So the way I get it is I just have them in a list on the site. So whenever I'm with someone, I just have to go on the site and just find the relevant ones I've collected, and I could use them when I'm speaking to a Muslim.